living within a budget is very difficult for most people, and I'm going to give you some advice on how to do that better. First of all, living within a budget is like trying to diet. When you try to diet, the first step is you're supposed to keep track of everything you eat, what the calories are. And that is so obnoxious, it makes eating not fun. That's part of the purpose of dieting, is to help make eating not fun, to make you more conscious of the fact that you're eating. Part of the process of budgeting is to make you aware of how you're spending your money. And if you have to write down everything that you spend money on, those impulse things aren't worth it anymore. And that's part of what budgeting is. So if your first reaction to budgeting is, that's a pain in the neck, why would I ever want to do that? Well, that's exactly why you'd want to do it. Because when you write down everything that you spend, it makes spending less attractive. It makes you stop and pause. And then you're only going to spend money on the things that you really want to. So the first piece is to keep track of your expenses. Do I really want to spend my money this way? And the order is cyclical, because when you've kept track of it, then you analyze it, then you realize where you're spending your money and you're not spending your money, and then that changes how you spend your money for the next month. So until you've been able to keep track of a budget, you really are not ready to figure out where you can cut back. Creating a budget is the process of keeping track of where you're spending your money, comparing that to national averages and where you want to be spending your money, and then adjusting how you spend your money. We have a calculator on our website where you can type in your monthly take-home pay or your annual take-home pay, and it will compute for you automatically about how much you ought to be spending in different categories. Now, there's nothing magic about that. That's just a blueprint for you to look at. You may decide you want to spend more because your house is really nice and you want to live in a nice house, and you may spend less on travel because that's not important. Or it may be the exact opposite. You spend more on travel and eating out, and you may spend less on clothes. However you decide to spend your money, that's your business, but the budget will give you a chance to move from category to category. What you can't continue to do is to put a lot of money into things that you don't really want, and then you're not able to fund the things you really want. So you have to sit down. You have to budget as a family. When you're on a diet, the worst thing you can do is to try to keep that diet to yourself. If no one else knows you're dieting, then no one else can help you. If no one else knows you're dieting, then people are going to be offering you things you shouldn't be eating rather than helping you eat healthy. So when you're on a budget, the whole family has to be involved. From your spouse to your kids, you sit down and you say, we'd like to get on a budget, we'd like to be able to save more money, and we need everyone on board to help us figure out. And kids, as young as they are, this is an opportunity for you to teach them about money by living within your own means yourself. Most families get into budget trouble not because they don't live within their means, but because they live within 100% of their means. So if everything that comes in, you spend that month, then when big ticket items that come up and frequently come up, you have nothing to do except go to credit card debt or to run into financial trouble. So the car breaks, the rug needs replacing, your son or daughter is sick and there's medical bills, the roof leaks, and all of a sudden you hadn't anticipated that, and now you have to start spending on credit cards. So we recommend that what you spend each month on monthly expenses be only 65% of your take-home pay. The other 35% is how you're going to keep yourself out of financial trouble. You're going to put, of the 35%, you're going to put 15% toward your retirement, maybe 10 in a retirement account and 5 in taxable savings. You're going to put another 10% out there maybe for charitable gifting, and another 10% for unknown unknowns. And if you say, like what? Well, that's the whole point. They're unknown unknowns. You have no idea what they're going to be. Maybe they're just big purchases that come along once in a blue moon. Maybe they'll be for that financial emergency.